Imagine standing in front of a crowd, speaking English with ease and confidence. It feels like magic, right? But the truth is, it all starts with one small step. And you can take that step today. Welcome to the Fluent Storybook. Here, we make learning English simple, fun, and full of stories to help you improve your speaking skills. Let's dive into today's story and learn how to start speaking in English. Chloe was a bright and cheerful 14-year-old who loved to draw and paint. She had a big dream to speak English fluently. But every time she thought about speaking, she felt a lump in her throat. What if I make mistakes, she would ask herself. What if people laugh at me? Her English teacher, Mrs. Carter, noticed Chloe's hesitation one day during class. Chloe was a smart student, but she rarely spoke in English, even when she knew the answer. After class, Mrs. Carter called her over and said, "Chloe, you don't have to be perfect to start speaking English. Let's start with simple words. Words you already know." Chloe nodded nervously. "But what if I don't know how to make sentences?" she asked. Mrs. Carter smiled warmly. "It's okay to start small. Even one word is a good start." That evening, Chloe sat on her bed with her notebook. She wrote down the simplest English words she could think of. Yes, no, hello, thank you, and sorry. These were words she already used sometimes, but now she wanted to say them more confidently. She started practicing by saying them out loud. Hello, thank you, sorry. Her voice was soft at first, but she kept repeating the words until they felt natural. The next day, Chloe decided to use these words at school. When her friend Hannah said, "Hi, Chloe," she smiled and replied, "Hello." It was a small moment, but it made her feel proud. She had spoken in English, and it wasn't as scary as she thought. Over the next week, Chloe added more words to her list. She included phrases like, "Good morning," "How are you?" and "See you later." Mrs. Carter had told her that learning phrases could make speaking easier because she wouldn't have to think about each word separately. At home, Chloe practiced these phrases with her little brother, Liam. "Good morning, Liam," she said brightly one day. Liam giggled and replied, "Good morning, Chloe." Her mother noticed her efforts and encouraged her. "You're doing great, Chloe. Keep practicing." Chloe started to feel more confident. She realized that speaking English didn't have to be perfect. It was okay to make mistakes because every mistake was a chance to learn. One day, Chloe decided to try speaking English outside of school. She went to the local bakery with her mom and wanted to order on her own. Her mom usually ordered for her, but this time, Chloe took a deep breath and stepped forward. "I want a chocolate cupcake, please," she said slowly. The baker smiled and handed her the cupcake. "Here you go," he said. Chloe's heart raced, but she felt a surge of happiness. She had done it. She had spoken English in public. It was just a few words, but it was a big step for her. Chloe also started speaking more English with her friends. Hannah, who was good at English, helped her practice. They made a game out of it. Every time Chloe spoke a full sentence in English, Hannah would give her a point. One day, during lunch, Chloe said, "I like this sandwich. It's tasty." Hannah clapped her hands. "That's great, Chloe. You're getting better every day." Chloe's friends encouraged her and never laughed at her mistakes. This made her feel safe to keep trying. Chloe's confidence grew because she practiced every day. She set a goal for herself: to learn 3 new words each day. She wrote them on sticky notes and put them on her bedroom wall. Words like book, chair, and window became part of her vocabulary. Every morning, she looked at the notes and said the words out loud. Then she tried to use them in sentences. "This is my book," she would say. "I see a chair." Her family noticed her improvement and cheered her on. Liam even started copying her, saying, "This is my book," with a big smile. One day, Chloe had to give a short presentation in her English class. She was nervous, but Mrs. Carter reminded her, "Just use the words you know. You don't need to be perfect." Chloe stood in front of the class, her hands trembling. She began with a simple sentence. "My name is Chloe. I like to draw. As she spoke, her confidence grew. She used simple words and short sentences, just as she had practiced. When she finished, the class clapped, and Mrs. Carter said, "Well done, Chloe. You've made great progress." Chloe learned that every small step mattered. Speaking one word, then a phrase, then a full sentence, it all added up. She started to believe in herself and her ability to speak English. One evening, as she sat with her family, Chloe said, "I'm happy. I can speak English now." Her mom hugged her and said, "We're so proud of you, Chloe." From that day on, Chloe continued to practice and improve. She knew that starting small was the key to reaching her big dream. Chloe's confidence grew with each small step, but she still felt nervous when speaking in front of other people. What if I forget a word? She wondered. What if someone doesn't understand me? One evening, Chloe sat on her bed, flipping through her English notebook. She stared at the phrases she had learned. Good morning, how are you, and see you later. She had practiced them with her family and friends, but she still wanted to get better. That's when an idea popped into her head. What if I practiced by talking to myself? She thought. It sounded silly, but maybe it could work. After all, nobody would be there to judge her or correct her. It could be her safe space to try new words and sentences. Chloe decided to give it a try. She stood in front of the mirror in her bedroom. At first, she felt awkward. "This is so weird," she muttered to herself. But then, she thought about how much she wanted to improve. "I'll just try," she whispered. She looked at her reflection and said, "Hello, my name is Chloe. I like to draw." The words came out slowly, and she stumbled a little, but she kept going. "I am learning English. I want to speak better." When she finished, she smiled. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. "I'm talking in English," she thought. The more she practiced, the more comfortable she felt. The next day, Chloe decided to turn this into a habit. Every evening before bed, she stood in front of the mirror and talked to herself in English. She started with simple sentences like, "I am Chloe. I have a dog. My dog's name is Max." As she gained confidence, she tried longer sentences. "Today, I went to school. I learned about science. Science is interesting." She even started asking herself questions and answering them. "What is your favorite color?" she asked her reflection. "My favorite color is blue," she replied with a giggle. Talking to herself became her favorite part of the day. It felt like a secret conversation where she could be herself. One evening, Chloe tried something new. Instead of just saying random sentences, she decided to describe her whole day in English. She started from the moment she woke up. "This morning, I woke up at 7 o'clock. I brushed my teeth. Then I ate breakfast. I had toast and eggs. After breakfast, I went to school." She paused, thinking about what to say next. "At school, I had math class. It was hard, but I like math. After school, I played soccer with my friends. It was fun." By the time she finished, she had talked for almost 5 minutes. "Wow, I said so many sentences," she thought. It gave her a huge sense of accomplishment. Of course, Chloe didn't always get it right. Sometimes she forgot a word or used the wrong one. One day, she tried to say, "I'm cleaning my room," but accidentally said, "I'm cleaning my house." At first, she felt frustrated. "Why can't I say it perfectly?" she thought. But then, she remembered what her teacher, Mrs. Carter, had told her. Mistakes are good. They help you learn. So, Chloe started keeping a small notebook. Whenever she made a mistake, she wrote it down and corrected it. For example, mistake: "I'm cleaning my house." Correction: "I'm cleaning my room." She would practice the correct sentence until it felt natural. This way, her mistakes became opportunities to improve. As Chloe became more comfortable talking to herself, she started using her imagination to make it more fun. She pretended she was talking to a new friend. "Hi, my name is Chloe. What's your name?" she said to her reflection. She imagined her friend replying, "My name is Sarah." "Nice to meet you, Sarah. Do you like drawing?" Chloe asked. Then she pretended to hear Sarah's answer. Yes, I love drawing. This role-playing game helped Chloe practice different types of conversations. She even imagined she was at a store, asking for help. "Excuse me, where is the milk?" she said, pretending to be in a grocery store. The more she practiced, the more natural her sentences sounded. One night, Chloe realized something amazing. She wasn't just practicing sentences, she was enjoying it. Speaking English to herself felt freeing. There was no pressure to be perfect. She could try new words, laugh at her mistakes, and keep going. She started experimenting with different topics. "Today I will talk about my favorite food," she decided. "I love pizza. It is very tasty. I like pepperoni pizza the most." Another day, she chose a new topic: animals. "I like dogs. Dogs are friendly. I have a dog named Max. He is brown and white. He likes to play with his ball." Talking about different things helped her learn new words and build her vocabulary. Chloe noticed a big change in herself. When she spoke English to her friends or family, she felt less nervous. She wasn't afraid of making mistakes anymore. One afternoon, her mom asked her, "Chloe, how is your English practice going?" Chloe grinned. "It's going great. I talk to myself every day. It's helping me a lot." Her mom nodded proudly. "I can see the difference. You're speaking so much more confidently now." Chloe felt proud of herself. She had found a way to practice English that worked for her. As Chloe got better, she decided to challenge herself. Instead of just saying short sentences, she tried to have full conversations with herself. For example, she pretended she was at a restaurant. "Hello, I would like a cheeseburger, please," she said. Then she pretended to be the waiter, replying, "Sure. Would you like fries with that?" "Yes, I would like fries." "Thank you," she replied as herself. These pretend conversations helped her get ready for real-life situations. She felt more prepared to speak English when she needed to. Chloe was so excited about her progress that she decided to share her practice tip with her friends. During lunch at school, she told Hannah, "You know what helped me? Talking to myself in English." Hannah looked surprised. "Really? Does it work?" "Yes. You should try it. Just stand in front of a mirror and say anything you want. It's fun and really helpful," Chloe said. Hannah decided to give it a try, and soon, the two friends were sharing their practice stories. Over time, Chloe realized she didn't need anyone else to help her practice. She had become her own teacher. By talking to herself, she learned how to form sentences, correct mistakes, and speak more confidently. She even started setting goals for herself. "Today, I will practice for 10 minutes, she decided one evening. She timed herself and spoke non-stop, describing everything she could think of. The timer beeped, and Chloe smiled. "I did it," she thought. Talking to herself became a powerful tool for Chloe. It helped her practice in a safe and comfortable way. She discovered that speaking English wasn't as scary as she once thought. One evening, as she stood in front of the mirror, Chloe said, "I am proud of myself. I can speak English now." Her reflection smiled back at her, and for the first time, she truly believed it. Chloe's daily practice in front of the mirror had made a big difference in her confidence. She could now speak in English without stumbling over her words, and she even found herself enjoying the process. But as much as she loved her solo practice, Chloe knew she needed to take the next step. She needed to practice speaking with someone else. The idea both excited and scared her. What if I forget what to say? She wondered. What if I sound silly? But then she remembered how far she had come. I've already learned so much by talking to myself. Maybe I can learn even more with a friend. Chloe decided to give it a try. The next day at school, Chloe sat with her best friend, Hannah, during lunch. Hannah was always kind and supportive, and Chloe felt comfortable around her. She knew Hannah would be the perfect person to practice with. "Hannah," Chloe began, her voice a little shaky, "can I ask you something?" "Of course," Hannah said, smiling. Chloe took a deep breath. "I've been practicing speaking English at home, but I think I need to practice with someone else now." Would you practice with me? Hannah's eyes lit up. Oh my gosh, Chloe, I'd love to. That sounds like so much fun. Chloe felt the wave of relief. Really? You don't think it's weird? Not at all. I think it's amazing that you're working so hard to improve your English, Hannah said. Let's do it. That afternoon, Chloe and Hannah decided to practice during their free time. They found a quiet spot under a big tree on the school playground and sat down with their books and notebooks. Hannah started the conversation. Okay, Chloe, let's keep it simple. I'll ask you questions, and you answer in English. Ready? Chloe nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. What's your favorite color? Hannah asked. Chloe smiled. My favorite color is blue. Great. What do you like to do after school? I like to draw and watch TV, Chloe said, pausing for a moment to find the right words. Hannah nodded encouragingly. You're doing awesome, Chloe. Keep going. As they continued, Chloe started to feel more comfortable. She even began asking Hannah questions in return. What is your favorite food? She asked, her voice steady. Pizza. I could eat it every day, Hannah said with a laugh. Chloe giggled. Me too. Pizza is very tasty. Hannah had an idea to make their practice sessions more fun. Let's play a game, she suggested. What kind of game? Chloe asked. We'll take turns describing something in English, and the other person has to guess what it is, Hannah explained. Chloe's eyes lit up. That sounds fun. Let's try. Hannah went first. Okay, it's big and orange. It grows in the fall. You can make a jack-o'-lantern with it. What is it? Chloe thought for a moment. A pumpkin, right? Hannah said. Your turn. Chloe tapped her chin, thinking of something to describe. It is small and red. It is a fruit. You can put it in a salad. A tomato? Hannah guessed. Yes, Chloe said, clapping her hands. The game made Chloe forget about her nerves. She was speaking English without overthinking it, and she was having fun at the same time. During one of their practice sessions, Chloe made a mistake. She was trying to say, I like to eat apples, but instead said, I like to eat apple. Hannah noticed the mistake, but didn't laugh or make Chloe feel bad. Instead, she gently corrected her. I think you mean apples, because there's more than one. Chloe nodded, grateful for Hannah's kindness. All right, I like to eat apples. Hannah smiled. See? That's why practicing together is so helpful. We can learn from each other. It wasn't long before Hannah made a mistake, too. She was trying to describe a giraffe, but accidentally said, it has a very long neck and eats leaves from the ground. Chloe giggled. Don't you mean it eats leaves from trees? Hannah laughed, realizing her mistake. Oh yeah, trees. Their practice sessions became a safe space where they could make mistakes and learn from them without feeling embarrassed. One day, Hannah brought a set of flashcards to their practice session. Each card had a picture on one side and the English word on the other. Let's learn some new words together, Hannah said. The first card showed a picture of a dog. Dog, Chloe said confidently. Right? Now, what sound does a dog make? Hannah asked. Woof, woof, Chloe said, laughing. The next card showed a picture of a tree. Tree, Chloe said. Good. Now, can you use it in a sentence? Chloe thought for a moment. There is a tree in my yard. Perfect, Hannah said. As they went through the cards, Chloe learned new words like cloud, river, and flower. She also practiced using them in sentences. This is so much fun, Chloe said. I'm learning so many new words. Chloe realized that practicing with a friend was more than just a way to improve her English. It was also a way to build her confidence. Hannah's encouragement made her feel brave enough to try new things. If she forgot a word or made a mistake, it didn't feel like a big deal because Hannah was always there to help her. One afternoon, as they were practicing, Hannah said, Chloe, you're getting so good at this. I can really see how much you've improved. Thanks, Hannah, Chloe said, her cheeks turning pink. I couldn't have done it without you. Of course you could, Hannah said. You've been working so hard. I'm just here to cheer you on. As Chloe's confidence grew, she and Hannah decided to take their practice sessions outside. They went to the park, the grocery store, and even a local cafe, practicing English in real-life situations. At the park, they talked about the things they saw. Look, Chloe, Hannah said, pointing to the sky. There's a bird. What color is it? It's blue, Chloe said. It's a blue bird. At the grocery store, Chloe practiced asking questions. Excuse me, she said to a store clerk. Where is the bread? The clerk pointed to an aisle, and Chloe thanked him. I did it, she whispered to Hannah. At the cafe, they ordered food in English. Chloe felt nervous at first, but with Hannah by her side, she managed to say, I would like a sandwich, please. The cashier smiled and handed her the sandwich. Chloe beamed with pride. One evening, Chloe looked back on her journey. From practicing simple words in front of the mirror to having full conversations with Hannah, she had come so far. I can't believe how much I've improved, she thought. I'm not afraid to speak English anymore. Practicing with Hannah had been a turning point for Chloe. It taught her that learning a language didn't have to be scary. With the right support and a little courage, she could achieve anything. As Chloe drifted off to sleep that night, she felt excited for the future. She couldn't wait to see where her English journey would take her next. Chloe's confidence in speaking English grew stronger with each passing day. Practicing with Hannah had been a game changer, but she knew that if she truly wanted to master the language, she needed to take it beyond practice sessions. It was time to use English in real-life situations. At first, the thought was daunting. Chloe was used to speaking only when she felt fully prepared. But now, she realized that life didn't always give you time to prepare. If I want to get better, I have to be brave, she told herself. Chloe decided to start small. On her way home from school one day, she stopped by the corner store to buy some snacks. Usually, she would simply point at what she wanted or let the cashier guess. But this time, she was determined to use English. She walked up to the counter, clutching a bag of chips. The cashier smiled at her. Is that everything? He asked. Chloe's heart raced, but she nodded and replied yes. That's all. The cashier rang up her purchase and said, That'll be $2. Chloe reached into her pocket for the money and handed it to him. Thank you, she said, her voice steady. You're welcome, the cashier replied. As Chloe left the store, she felt a wave of pride wash over her. It was such a small interaction, but it was a big step for her. I can do this, she thought. I can use English in real life. Encouraged by her success at the store, Chloe began looking for more opportunities to use English in her daily life. At school, she made an effort to participate in class discussions. When her teacher asked a question, Chloe would raise her hand, even if she wasn't entirely sure of the answer. One day, her teacher asked, Can anyone tell me what the capital of France is? Chloe hesitated for a moment, then raised her hand. Paris, she said. Correct, her teacher said, smiling. Chloe's classmates turned to look at her, some of them nodding in approval. Chloe felt a surge of confidence. I spoke in front of everyone, she thought, and I got it right. Outside of school, Chloe continued to challenge herself. She started ordering food at restaurants in English, asking for directions when she needed help, and even greeting her neighbors with a cheerful good morning. Each interaction, no matter how small, felt like a victory. Of course, not every moment went smoothly. There were times when Chloe stumbled over her words or misunderstood what someone said. One afternoon, while visiting the library, she tried to ask the librarian for help finding a book. Excuse me, she said, I am looking for a book about animals. The librarian smiled and asked, Do you mean a book about pets or about wild animals? Chloe froze. She hadn't thought about that. Wild animals? She said, unsure if she was using the right words. The librarian nodded. Follow me. I'll show you where they are. As Chloe followed the librarian, she felt a little embarrassed. I should have been more clear, she thought. But instead of letting the moment discourage her, she decided to learn from it. Next time, I'll think about what I want to say before I ask. Her mistakes became valuable lessons. They taught her that it was okay to not be perfect as long as she kept trying. Chloe began to realize that using English wasn't just about learning a language. It was about connecting with people. She started paying more attention to the conversations around her, picking up new words and phrases along the way. One morning, Chloe's mom asked her to help with grocery shopping. As they walked through the aisles, Chloe decided to practice her English. "Mom, do we need milk?" she asked, holding up a carton. "Yes, we do," her mom replied. "Good job, Chloe." Chloe smiled and continued. "Do we need eggs?" "No, we already have some at home," her mom said. By the time they reached the checkout counter, Chloe had asked about almost every item on their list. Her mom laughed. "You're really practicing hard, aren't you?" Chloe nodded. "I want to get better." Her mom patted her shoulder. "I'm proud of you." Chloe also discovered that technology could be a powerful tool for improving her English. She downloaded a language learning app on her phone and started using it every day. The app had fun games and challenges that made learning feel less like work and more like play. One of her favorite features was the voice recognition tool. It allowed her to practice saying words and phrases, and it would give her feedback on her pronunciation. "Hello, how are you?" Chloe said into her phone. The app responded, "Great job. Your pronunciation is excellent." Chloe beamed with pride. "I'm really getting the hang of this," she thought. She also began watching videos and shows in English. At first, she turned on the subtitles to help her understand, but as she got better, she started watching without them. "It's like a game," she told Hannah. "I try to guess what they're saying, and then I check to see if I'm right." As Chloe became more confident in using English, she noticed something interesting. Her classmates started coming to her for help. One day, a girl named Emma approached her. "Chloe, can you help me with this English assignment?" she asked. Chloe hesitated for a moment, but then she smiled. "Sure. What do you need help with?" Emma showed her a worksheet full of questions. Together, they went through each one, with Chloe explaining the answers in simple terms. "Thanks, Chloe," Emma said when they were finished. "You're really good at this." Chloe felt a warm glow of pride. Not only was she improving her own English, but she was also helping others along the way. Using English in daily life became a natural part of Chloe's routine. Whether she was talking to her family, practicing with friends, or interacting with strangers, she found herself using the language more and more. One evening, as she sat down to dinner with her parents, Chloe decided to share her thoughts. "Mom, Dad," she said, "I feel like I'm getting better at English. I'm not as scared to speak anymore." Her dad smiled. "That's wonderful, Chloe. We're so proud of you." Her mom nodded. "You've worked so hard, and it shows. Keep it up, and you'll be fluent in no time." As Chloe continued her journey, she felt a sense of excitement for the future. She knew there was still a lot to learn, but she also knew she had the tools and the determination to succeed. "I'm not just learning English," she thought. "I'm learning how to be brave, how to connect with others, and how to believe in myself." Chloe's journey was far from over, but she was ready for whatever challenges came next. Using English in daily life had opened up a world of possibilities, and she couldn't wait to see where it would take her. As Chloe sat by her window one evening, looking at the setting sun, she couldn't help but reflect on how far she had come. From a shy girl who hesitated to even say hello, she had blossomed into someone who could confidently use English in her daily life. But her journey wasn't just about learning a language. It was about discovering her inner strength, determination, and ability to connect with others. Chloe's journey began with the smallest of steps. She started by learning simple words and phrases, repeating them until they felt natural. It wasn't easy, but she kept going, even when she stumbled. Those early steps taught her that progress doesn't happen overnight. It's the small, consistent efforts that lead to big changes. Looking back, Chloe realized that every word she practiced, every sentence she spoke, and every mistake she made had been a stepping stone. Learning English is like planting a tree, she thought. You water it every day, and one day it starts to grow strong branches and leaves. One of Chloe's biggest challenges was overcoming her fear of speaking. She used to worry about making mistakes, about people laughing at her, or not understanding her. But with each step forward, whether it was talking to herself in the mirror, practicing with her friend Hannah, or ordering snacks at the store, she learned that fear could only hold her back if she let it. Mistakes became lessons, not failures. She realized that every time she stumbled, she grew a little stronger. It's okay to fall, she told herself. What matters is that I get back up. Her courage inspired those around her, too. Hannah often told her, "Chloe, you're brave. You don't give up, even when it's hard." Those words became a source of motivation for Chloe, pushing her to keep going. Chloe's journey wasn't one she walked alone. Hannah's friendship played a crucial role in her progress. Having someone who encouraged her, practiced with her, and celebrated her successes made all the difference. Hannah's patience and kindness reminded Chloe that learning a language is about more than words. It's about building connections. Even Chloe's parents supported her every step of the way. They listened to her practice, celebrated her milestones, and reminded her of her potential. "We're so proud of you," her mom would say, and those words filled Chloe with a sense of pride and motivation. One of the most valuable lessons Chloe learned was that confidence doesn't come from waiting, it comes from doing. Every time she pushed herself to speak, whether it was in class, at the library, or with a stranger, she proved to herself that she could do it. Chloe's decision to use English in her daily life turned out to be the most transformative part of her journey. Real-life conversations forced her to think quickly, adapt, and trust herself. Over time, what once felt scary became second nature. Chloe's journey wasn't just about becoming fluent in English. It was about growing as a person. She learned to be patient with herself, to celebrate progress instead of perfection, and to see challenges as opportunities. As she reflected on her experiences, Chloe realized how much she had changed. She was no longer the quiet girl who avoided speaking. She had become someone who could face her fears, embrace new challenges, and inspire others to do the same. Chloe's story is a reminder that learning a language is a journey, not a race. It's okay to take small steps, to make mistakes, and to feel nervous. What matters is that you keep going. If Chloe could speak to others who are on the same journey, she would say, "Don't be afraid to try. Start with simple words, practice as much as you can, and use English every day. It's okay if you make mistakes. They're just part of the process. And remember, you're not alone. There are people who want to help you. Just like Hannah helped me, Chloe knew her journey wasn't over. There was still so much to learn, so much to discover. But now, she was excited about the challenges ahead. She looked forward to the day when she could travel to new places, meet new people, and share her story in perfect English. As she closed her journal that evening, Chloe smiled. She had written down her favorite quote, one that had inspired her throughout her journey. Every big dream starts with a small step. For Chloe, those small steps had led to a life full of possibilities, and she couldn't wait to see where the next steps would take her.